Often, when it comes to leaders of criminal groups, an unpleasant and even dangerous man in a suit usually comes to mind. But who would have thought that quite often gang organizers are someone's mothers and wives? Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll be looking at the world's most dangerous female gangsters. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. Claudia Ochoa Felix. Claudia Ochoa Felix is widely known in certain circles as the Kim Kardashian of organized crime. The nickname she got thanks to her image, which she follows on Instagram. In 2014, some media reported that she became the new head of the Mexican gang of Los Licciardi, involved in a massive cold-blooded killings. Felix received this post when her boyfriend, the leader of this group, was arrested. El Chino was accused of the death of 3 men who were found hanging on one of the Mexican bridges almost 4 years ago. Sandra Avila Beltran. Born on October 11, 1960, after becoming the head of the Mexican drug cartel, she took the nickname the Queen of the Pacific. She was twice married and both her husbands were policemen who left work in order to tackle the drug business. Both were killed by hired assassins. Beltran was smart and never left evidence pointing to her involvement. Only in 2002, when her son was kidnapped with a ransom requirement of $5 million, the police began a separate investigation. In 2007, she was charged with involvement in organized crime and drug trafficking. Although many charges were dropped from her during the investigation, she is still credited with illegal possession of weapons and money laundering. During the interrogation, she introduced herself as a housewife who makes a living by selling clothes. Sandra remains behind bars till this day. Judy Moran. Judy Moran was born on December 18, 1944. She is a well-deserved head of the Moran family, a group of infamous criminals from Melbourne, Australia. The Moran family became famous when they were drug traffickers. Judy's first husband, Leslie Johnny Cole, died during the shootout in 1982. In 2000, her son Mark Cole was also killed. Later, she was married to Louis Moran, and they had the son Jason Moran, who was shot dead in 2003. Dee Moran, her husband's brother, was killed in June 2009. Then Judy herself and her 3 accomplices were arrested. While the trial was underway, the house of Moran was set on fire by unknown people. As a result, Judy was sentenced to 26 years in prison. Thelma Wright. The husband of Thelma Wright, Jackie Wright, was a big bump in the drug business in Philadelphia. He was killed in 1986, and his body was found wrapped in a carpet with a gunshot wound to the head. After the murder, Thelma took on the family business and became the new leader of the drug cartels, delivering drugs from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. In 1991, she was in a shootout. This moment turned out to be the turning point for her, and she decided to leave the world of drug trafficking. Maria Leon. Maria Leon led a rather intense criminal life, even being the mother of 13 children. Maria was the leader of the gang involved in transport of drugs, contract killings, and human trafficking. Among other things, she enlisted the support of the Mexican mafia, which immediately gave her the status of one of the most dangerous gangsters in Los Angeles. In 2008, her son Danny died in a shootout with the police. Maria had found out about this when she was on the run in Mexico and decided to come to the funeral of her son. Since she was banned from entering the US, she agreed that she was taken there by one of the illegal routes. At the time, members of her gang were already under police surveillance, so it was not challenging to arrest her and several other people. Maria Licciardi. Maria Licciardi was born on March 24, 1951. Maria, the former head of the Licciardi clan, settled in the north of Naples. Before her appearance, this family had never been associated with the sex industry. Maria also introduced a new source of income. Members of her gang bought minors from the Albanian mafia for $2,000. The girls were promised to work in another country, which they gladly agreed to, hoping to get rid of the poverty that surrounded them in their homeland. On arrival in Naples, the girls found themselves in real slavery, where they were forced to provide sex services. All those who were not fit for this role were simply killed. Maria Licciardi was arrested in 2001 and still remains in prison. Rosetta Cutolo. Born in 1937, is known as the sister of the famous criminal and former head of the gang of Nuova Camorra Organizzata, Rafael Cutolo. Since her brother spent most of the time behind bars, she was the only person to whom he could pass on further instructions for managing his business. After a while, she became the actual boss of his gang. As its residence, Rosetta chose the 16th century palace of Castello Medicio, which accommodates 365 rooms, tennis courts, and a swimming pool. In the early 1980s, in obedience to an impulse of feelings, she ordered the bombing of the police station. This resulted in the subsequent rout of her castle, and the woman herself spent the next 10 years on the run. In 1993, she surrendered to the police, explaining that she was tired of being on the run. Jermaker Thompson. Jermaker Thompson, nicknamed Queen Pin, came to the world of crime from an extremely poor environment, which made her go to anything, just to never feel any more need. Together with her husband, Anthony Mosley, she began selling crack in vast quantities. Soon, the pair acquired one of the largest drug trafficking networks in Los Angeles in the 1980s. A few years later, Jermaker's husband was shot, but she continued his business. The new dealer handed it over to the police. Then the women had to start running. 5 long years later, she returned to Los Angeles, where she was arrested and sent to a high-security prison for 15 years. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.